Hi, my name is Gats, or the Free Librarian, and welcome to a new video. Today I will be sharing my March TBR. March is Realmathon month, and I really love Realmathon. I wasn't able to participate last year, and I missed it, so I'm really glad to be back. It's probably my favorite readathon out there. It is hosted by Cassidy from the channel Covers with Cassidy. I'll link her channel as well as the announcement video in the description. I am part of Team Mages, and my team captains, co-hosts are Monica from On Monica's Shelf and Jency from Jency Reads. I'll link both of their channels down below as well. And for mages, we get bonus points for school settings and a book with foiling on the cover. And generally, everyone also gets bonus points if the book has like trials or a competition in it. So I'm going to try to include equal books that hit some of those. We'll see. But yeah, let's get into it. So first, let's see how I did in February. For February, I only ended up with 2 books on my TBR. So you'd think that should be easy, right? That should be doable. I had The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana for a obligation read, and I had Der Magische Pakt by Tanja Wilson for a middle grade. I read The Very Secret Society. I did not read Der Magische Pakt. So if you know my TBR game, what I do is for every book that I have not read, I pick a prompt from the goose jar, and I can choose to either fulfill that prompt or I could just roll over the book. So let's pick a prompt. So I have the goose jar. Let's see what we get. And the prompt is pick a new book for every past prompt. Well, that's not really possible because we haven't had any prompts yet. So I'm just going to roll over the book then, which actually works perfectly. So this is the first book in a German middle grade series about this group of people make magical candy, and then there's a curse that they need to break. And I think it's going to be a fun adventure. And it actually works really well because for TBR-a-thon, which is a reading challenge hosted by Leandra from the channel Leandra TBR 0, I'm going to go to the 3rd location in the Map of Stories. I'm not sure what the location is called, but it's associated with middle grade. So I'm going to try and fit the prompts. The prompts are child protagonist and child on the cover. I'm going to do child on the cover here because that gives me a little more leeway for what I do for the other middle grade that I read, or did I try and put on here. But so yeah, I will be reading this, and this will be the first book on the TBR. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, let's see how many rolls I'm going to be doing today. I'm kind of hoping for a big number because I do plan to read a lot in March. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. A 5. Okay, 5 rolls. That's cool. Our goose is going to start where we left off last time, and we're going to start with roll number 1. 8 and doubles, which means that I'm going to need to pull 2 prompts. But let's first go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Normal prompts, it's doubles, so I have to pick 2 prompts, and if I can fill both of them with 1 book, I can do that. If not, I have to pick 2 books. But so Let's see. I have two. So the first one is Romantasy. And this is two. The second is the title has an alliteration. Okay, let me think about this. Okay, so for the first roll, immediately had doubles, which means that we had to pick two prompts, and I chose to fulfill them with two separate books. So for Romantasy, I decided to go with When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. There's something with dragons. I can't really remember what exactly it's about. I know that like the writing is very, very descriptive. Like that is what a lot of people say about it. So we'll see if I like it. But I know that the sequel comes out soon, so maybe then I can, read this one and then the sequel when it comes out. So feels appropriate. And then for the title has alliteration, I decided to go for When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. This is a historical fantasy set in either the 50s or the 60s when a bunch of women in this community suddenly turned into dragons, and we follow the aftermath of that. So yeah, two books I'm really excited for. When Women Were Dragons is also on my 26 books to read in 2026, so making progress with that list, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm happy about this. Let's go on to roll number two. Roll number two. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's the water well, which, if you know the game of the goose, means that you like throw again immediately. So that means that we don't have to pick a book for this prompt. So like two books in the previous one, and now none cancels each other out, which is nice. Okay, so roll number 3. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there is geese on this spot, so that is a goose prompt. This one. And the prompt is, I need to pick a prompt and then let my friends pick a book for it. Okay, so let's pick the prompt. And the prompt is a number in the title. So for roll number 2, we landed on the water well, which in Game of the Goose traditionally means that you can do an extra turn. So in this case, roll again without picking a book. So I immediately could go on to roll number 3, and roll number 3 landed us on a goose spot. So I got the goose prompt of, I had to pick a normal prompt and then have friends pick a book with that prompt. And then the prompt was a number in the title. Now I decided, since it is Realmathon month, I would ask in the team chat for my team to give me a book. They haven't answered yet, so I'll just insert a clip here when they do. Hi, so it's the next day and we have answers. Well, yeah, we have multiple answers, but I went with the first one that I could get from the library, and that is 1984 by George Orwell, which wasn't on my bingo card for 2026. But oh well. Well, I have been curious about this for a while. I've been wanting to read it for a very, very long time. I'm curious to see whether it holds up or not. So I guess I'll be reading this in March, which is not at all what I expected, but okay. Roll number 4. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's also a goose on this one. So we pick the goose prompt again. And it says, a book from my Herkiad TBR. So for roll number 4, we landed on a goose spot again, and the prompt was Herkiad TBR. So I decided to go for Cleopatra by Natasha Solomons. This is going to be a book for the Women's History Month prompt, which is in March. So I try to read those in the actual month, so I had to read it in March anyway. But so this is a historical fiction about, you guessed it, Cleopatra, like the life of Cleopatra. And I'm really, really excited for it. So yeah, I'm very glad that I could fit this on here. And then the 5th and final roll, 4 with doubles, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, but no goose, so 2 normal prompts. First prompt, person on the cover, I can do that. Second prompt, a middle grade. Again, okay, that works fine. So for the 5th and final roll, we hit doubles again. But this time I did manage to combine them. So we needed a middle grade with a person on the cover. And for that I picked School for Good and Evil by Saman Chainani. This is about a school where fairy tale figures go to learn how to be a fairy tale character. And then there is 2 friends, and then one of them everyone thought would be like in the school for like the good guys, and then the other one they thought would be the bad guys, but they end up swapped and have to navigate that. So this is the other book that I'm going to be reading for TBR-a-thon. Child protagonist, definitely possible. And then also it has a school setting, so that gives me some bonus points for Realmathon, not Herkiad, Realmathon. So yeah, let's recap the game, shall we? So I can only really hold up 2 books because I currently only have 2 of them physically. But we have Der Magische Pakt by Tanja Vossen for a rollover from last month. We have Cleopatra by Natasha Solomons for a book from my Herkiad TBR. We have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker for a romantasy. We have The School for Good and Evil by Saman Chainani for a middle grade with a person on the cover. We have When the Moon Hatched for a book where the title has alliteration. And then we have the book you see on screen right now for a friend pick with a number in the title. Now I do have some other books that I would like to read in March, so let me go over those real quickly. So I mentioned TBR-a-thon, where I'll read School for Good and Evil and The Magische Pakt, but I also plan to do a vlog. Well, each location also has a prompt that is a booktube recommendation, so I'm going to do one vlog where I'll read 3 booktube recommendations for like the first 3 months. So historical fiction for January, romance for February, and middle grade for March. So I don't know what those books are yet, but I'll be coming. For my Herkiad vlog for March, I mentioned already that I'm going to read Cleopatra for the Heritage Month square, and I will also be using this for the subgenre challenge because I'm doing historical fiction and this is a biofiction, so I'll be using it for that. Then for my new release for this month for Herkiad, I'll be reading And the Courts Were Tartan by Stuart McBride, which is a murder mystery book. It is set in a hotel where there's a wedding and then there's a storm, so everyone's trapped. Someone dies. We need to find out who did it. Very classic setup, but it does sound interesting. I do like a isolated closed circle mystery, and I do like a hotel setting. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but I really enjoy them, so I'll be reading that. And then for I try to make sure that every month I make a conscious effort to finish at least one prompt, and for March I decided to read Aquitania by Eva Garcia Sáenz de Urturi. I think I said that right. I hope I said that right. That was from memory. It's a long name. But this is a historical fiction set in medieval Aquitaine. It is originally written in Spanish. I haven't been able to find an English translation of it, so I can't point you to one. I'm sorry. But there is a Dutch translation for this, which is what I'll be reading. But the Dutch title for this has the word water in it, and that is the one word that I still need for the Avatar challenge. So I'll be finishing that, and I'll also be using this for the translation challenge. Then what else? Also some other books that I have in mind for Realmathon. One that I certainly would like to get to is All's Well by Mona Awad. This is a horror book about a teacher who has been in a car accident and has been dealing with chronic pain issues ever since. And then they're also performing All's Well That Ends Well, the play, and stuff happens. It's Mona Awad who writes weird stuff. From what I've heard, I haven't read anything by her yet. But I'm really interested. And we're following a teacher with like a school play, so school setting for a Realmathon again. And then there is also a like 48-hour readathon within Realmathon, which is called Peace Talks, or the Peace Weekend, Peace something. And you get extra points for any books that you finish during that. So I'll be reading a bunch of shorter books. I plan to read some indie novellas that I have, yeah, like, you know how sometimes with like indie authors, if you sign up to their newsletter, you get a free prequel novella. I have a bunch of those saved in my e-reader, but I keep putting them off. So I plan to read a couple of those during that. And one that I definitely also want to read during the Peace Weekend is On Earth as It Is Beneath by Ana Paula Maya, which is a dystopian, either novella or like short novel, where there's a prison and weird shit happens to the prison. There's like this hunt where they're hunting down the prisoners sometimes. But there's also people who try to escape during that, but they always fail. And we're following that. I heard it's pretty intense, like pretty dark, but also good. So I'm really hopeful for this one. And yeah, I think then I will have plenty of stuff to read in March once I get through all of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know some books that you're excited to read in the month of March. And I will see you again with another video. Bye!